Hi everybody, it's Jason Purtis. My group and I are doing Flipgrid for our final presentation, so I just want to do a quick little overview on how Flipgrid works, how it looks from the student and teacher perspective, and try and do that all in about 2 minutes or about 1 minute and 40 seconds now. But if you are live, when you go on to Flipgrid, if you haven't got a chance to mess around with it, this is what the intro screen looks like. From a student perspective, if you gave this to students, you would give them a Flipgrid code and they would put it in here, which would allow them to get to your Flipgrid screen. So in terms of an educator login, you're going to click educator login here. It's going to bring you to this screen. You got a couple different options here. Down here, you can log in with your Google account, log in with Microsoft, or you can create a whole different account if you don't have either of these two. But assuming that most people in the class have one of these two, I would log in with either your Google or Microsoft. And my school is a Google school. So I'm going to click on this, and it's going to bring up the different Google accounts associated with this computer. So I'm going to use my WHB Schools email address here, and it's going to log me in. Now, I've already logged in and set something up, which is a test grid. This R classroom down here is kind of the default grid that's set up by Flipgrid, but this is my test grid, which I set up. So I'm going to click on this, and it's going to show the grids that I set up, which is class intro. So here's class intros. If I click on this, it's going to show that I have no responses yet, which makes sense because I haven't given anyone this code. But this is where all the different responses would come from if students had already given or recorded class introductions. If you want to see what it looks like from a student perspective, you click on here. It is password protected. So I'm just going to put in a password real quick here. And this is what it looks like. If you want to see what it looks like from the student perspective, you're going to click here. But because once I do that, if I click on it, it's going to open up a video and voice recording, which is going to stop my recording here and kind of mess up this whole video. But it is here. So that's kind of the basics. That's the overview of it. Hope you learned something. Enjoy.